as we move into round 5, things are getting a little bit more competitive, a little bit more tough. How are you guys feeling?
Ready to rock and roll.
Ready to rock and roll. Okay.
I feel like white wine, actually, but I don't know if we've got that coming or not.
Okay, why don't you pour rock and roller and let's see what happens.
This is a little wild and crazy.
A little horse adder there too, a little funky.
A little funky.
Yeah, spicy,
There's
peppery.
a popular
Really
term
jazzed
called
up.
barnyard.
Barnyard for sure,
It's
for
leaning
sure.
that way a little bit.
Yes, yeah.
What does that mean, barnyard?
Well, it's a whole composite of all the different aromas you actually find in a barnyard, you know, from the mud to the drying hay to the manure to the, it's a real sort
To
of...
the poop.
To the poop, yep.
Okay.
The French call it la merde. It's actually not too strong in here, but this is not a really sort of clean, pure varietal, easily identifiable. And then you have to think of places that might be a little bit less modern in the way they do things. So that would take me to Europe generally, but not necessarily.
The interesting thing about that is that traditionally you would associate these barnyard, earthy, gamey flavors and aromas with Europe, but you know they're making wine a lot cleaner, using a lot cleaner practices. And in the New World, you know, there are all sorts of traditionalists traditional winemaking practices that are coming into favor. So, you know, you could be anywhere.
I'm going to take a stab at the variety here, but it is, again, it's a difficult one, and it's got an aroma to it. There's a real sort of sour red fruit, sour plum, and a spice that's like rosemary to me. And there are a couple of grape varieties, one in the southern Rhone, Carignan, that I get that from a lot, and I get some Spanish reds. So that's not kind of between those two places at the moment.
Originally, I thought for a fraction of a second that it's Syrah. Actually, to cool to warm climate, Syrah, that peppery note, sour blueberry fruit, good amount of acidity here, soft tannins. But now, listening to David, and of course I know Spanish using a bunch of American oak and all that, I'm getting a fair amount of oak here too. To be fair, some coconutty nuances and accents and everything else. I would be in the Mediterranean basin for sure.
I think Spain is a good guess because I'm picking up a little bit more American oak. I'm picking up some heat to this. The acidity is definitely there. It's vibrant. It's curbed.
It's pretty sour-edged wine too. For all the smoothness and sweetness of the palate, there's quite high acidity. Tannin's not bad. I think it's fairly young.
Okay, well, why don't we just get right to it?
Oh,
It should,
yeah.
but where is
What
it?
is it?
Yeah.
What is it?
Let's have Sarah go
Yeah.
first. I think she's itching to go on this one.
All right.
Okay, so I'm going to start with the vintage this time, and I think that it's still quite youthful. See a lot of ruby, nothing starting to sort of digress or turn into brownish flavor. So I would call it a 2008. I'm going to go with Argentina, and I'm going to go with a Syrah from San Juan. And I'm going to guess sort of a mid-price range. I'm going to guess about $18.
Okay.
I'm going to stick with the Mediterranean. Again, I'm not completely sure of the grape variety. I suspect it's a blend, but I've got to name one variety. I'm going to say Grenache and maybe some Carignan in it as well. As much as I want to go to Spain, I'm going to stick with the south of France, Languedoc-Roussillon area, 2009. And I don't think it's that expensive a wine. I'm going to go about $15.
Okay.
I'll stick to New World Syrah. I would go to Chile, cool area of Chile, coastal region, perhaps high altitude. Not necessarily the Elqui Valley, but similar when it comes to climatic conditions. Young wine, I'd say 2008 or even 2009. And price value here probably below $20, so I'm going to say 18.
Okay.
It's a tricky one. I don't think it's a very obvious one at all.
Well, let's see.
We're all way out of the park.
So do you want to tell us about this wine, David? And
So
then
this is from Sicily. It's Nero d'Avola is the grape variety, and it's a variety that's specialized in Sicily. It's their main red grape. It actually is thought, a lot of people think it's actually kind of like Syrah, so way to go on that, Zoltan. But you don't find it growing much outside of Sicily, and it makes quite full-bodied, soft wines. Now that I know it is, yeah, okay.
okay, well, guys, I don't know.
We bombed.
You kind of bombed. You did kind of bomb. That Nero stumped our critics, but David took the lead with 4 points. Let's see what happens in round 6.